September 23rd, 2009, 5:14 a.m. Stockholm is sleeping. The streets are empty. The city is silent. But inside the G4S cash depot in Vestberga, the lights are on. 21 employees are starting their morning shift. They are surrounded by 4-inch thick bulletproof glass, seismic sensors, and reinforced concrete walls. They are standing inside the single most secure building in Sweden. On any given night, this vault holds over 1 billion kroner. That is roughly 100 million US dollars. They believe they are safe. They believe this fortress is impenetrable. But they are wrong. Because 100 feet above their heads, a Bell 206 Jet Ranger is fighting the wind. Inside the cockpit, the pilot checks his altimeter. He is flying without navigation lights. He is invisible to radar. And he is not here to land. He is here to invade. To understand the madness of what is about to happen, you have to look at the architecture. The G4S depot was designed to stop an army. If you try to drill the walls, the vibration sensors trip. If you try to blow the doors, the silent alarm alerts the police station just 10 minutes away. Every angle is covered. Every door is locked, except one. The architects spent millions securing the ground, but they forgot to look up. They placed a glass skylight on the roof, a pyramid of glass designed to let in sunlight. Today, it will let in something else entirely. The man controlling the helicopter is Alexander Eriksson. Looking at him, you wouldn't see a criminal. You would see a TV producer, a photographer, a father. He spends his days editing commercials and organizing family dinners. He is a normal man with a normal life. But Alexander has a secret. He is drowning in debt. The kind of debt you don't pay with a bank transfer, but with your life. When the gang approached him, they offered him a way out. They didn't ask him to shoot a gun. They asked him to fly. They needed a pilot skilled enough to hover a fluctuating machine inches above a glass roof in the middle of a windy night. One slip of his hand, and the helicopter flips. One mistake, and everyone dies. For Alexander, this isn't a robbery. It's a performance, and he is about to step onto the stage. But a pilot is useless without a plan. And the plan for Vestberga didn't start that night. It started months earlier, in a basement in southern Stockholm. The mastermind, Goran Bohovic, was not a man who guessed. He was a man who calculated. Police investigators later found maps covering the walls of his apartment. He had timed the police response routes with a stopwatch, driving the distance from the station to the depot at different times of day. He knew that at 5 a.m., the shift change at the police station created a 3-minute gap in communication. He knew the exact wind patterns on the roof. He even sent team members to pose as joggers near the helicopter hangar, scouting the security cameras for weeks. They rehearsed the heist in a rented warehouse, using tape on the floor to simulate the size of the G4S roof. They practiced the movement: jump, smash, cut, load, until it wasn't a robbery anymore. It was muscle memory. But the biggest threat was the Swedish police air wing. If the alarm goes off, police helicopters will be in the sky within minutes. A Bell 206 cannot outrun a police interceptor. It would be a slaughter. So, Goran devised a checkmate, a solution so simple, yet so brilliant, it humiliated the entire nation. At 5 a.m., exactly 15 minutes before the heist, a shadow places a gym bag outside the police helicopter hangar. It looks like a bomb. It sits there, menacing and silent. It isn't a bomb. It's a decoy. But in the world of counterterrorism, you can't take chances. With that one bag, the entire police air force is grounded. Protocol dictates that until the bomb squad clears the area, nothing takes off. The board is set. The police are paralyzed. The sky now belongs to the thieves. 5:15 a.m. The helicopter descends. The wind is violent. The skids of the aircraft slide across the slippery roof. Alexander fights the controls, his knuckles white. 3 men in black tactical gear jump out. They aren't carrying assault rifles. They are carrying sledgehammers. With one massive swing, they smash the glass pyramid. The sound shatters the morning silence. Inside the depot, the staff freezes. They look up to see ropes dropping from the ceiling like vines in a jungle. The alarm is screaming. The police are notified instantly, but it doesn't matter. The thieves are already inside. They rappel down into the main atrium, but they aren't at the money yet. The cash is stored inside massive steel cages. You can't pick these locks. You have to destroy them. One of the men pulls the cord on a Husqvarna K3000 power saw. The engine roars to life. He presses the diamond-tipped blade against the steel bars. The noise is deafening. Sparks fly everywhere, lighting up the dark room like fireworks. It is brutal, physical work. They have to cut through solid steel. But technology has limits. 10 minutes into the cut, the first blade begins to dull. The reinforced steel is harder than they anticipated. The saw is overheating. The room fills with the smell of burning metal and clutch smoke. If the saw fails, the heist is over. They are trapped in a glass cage with police surrounding them outside. One of the robbers frantically changes the diamond blade. His hands are shaking. Outside, a police sniper on a nearby roof asks for permission to take a shot at the figure moving inside. The commander denies the request. Too much risk of ricochet. Stand down. The robber swaps the blade. He pulls the cord. The engine roars back to life. The cutting resumes. They are seconds away from failure, yet they keep working. Outside, the chaos is unfolding. By 5:25 a.m., police ground units have surrounded the building. Flashing blue lights illuminate the streets. Officers with submachine guns take positions behind their cars. They can see the helicopter on the roof. They can hear the saw cutting through the metal inside. But they can't do anything. The depot's own security doors have locked down the building. The windows are bulletproof. And without their own helicopter, the police cannot access the roof. The commander screams into his radio, demanding air support. The response is static. The bomb squad is still checking the hangar. Hundreds of officers are forced to watch the robbery happen in real time. They aren't the heroes of this story. They are just the audience. On the ground, the situation for the police is becoming desperate. With their helicopters grounded, they try to improvise. A police commander actually considers commandeering a private boat to approach the depot from the nearby lake, hoping to get a better angle. They even contact the military to see if a Gripen fighter jet can do a low pass to scare the pilot. But bureaucracy is slow, and the robbery is fast. By the time the requests are processed, the bags are already being hooked up. The police possess the firepower to level the building, yet they are defeated by a simple fact. They cannot get up there. It is a stalemate, a checkmate in 3D. Back inside, the saw finally cuts through the last bar. The cage opens, and there it is, stacks of fresh 500 kroner notes, millions of them. The crew begins stuffing the cash into white reinforced bags. They work fast. They are fueled by adrenaline. But now, they face a physics problem. Cash is heavy, paper is dense. Every bag they add brings the helicopter closer to its weight limit. Alexander is watching the load. He knows the math. If they take too much, they won't be able to lift off. If they take too little, the risk wasn't worth it. He signals the team. Time is up. They hook the bags to the winch. Alexander pulls the collective lever. The engine screams. The turbine temperature spikes. The warning lights in the cockpit flash red. Torque limit reached. The helicopter shudders. It struggles to leave the roof. It's too heavy. Below them, the police snipers are waiting for a clear shot. If the engine stalls now, they fall 100 feet onto the concrete. Alexander pushes the engine to its breaking point. The helicopter claws its way into the air, swinging wildly in the wind. Slowly, agonizingly, it rises. At 5:35 a.m., just 20 minutes after they arrived, the white Bell 206 banks left and vanishes into the clouds. The police storm the roof. 60 seconds later, they find broken glass. They find a sledgehammer. And they find silence. The thieves are gone. The crew lands in a forest 30 kilometers north of Stockholm. The timeline is tight. They have less than 3 minutes to transfer the cash into waiting cars. They abandon the helicopter right there in the woods. They don't burn it. The smoke would attract attention. They just walk away. By 6 a.m., while the police are still staring at the sky in Vesberga, the robbers are driving BMWs on the highway, blending in with the morning commute. They have pulled off the most spectacular heist in history. No shots fired. No one killed. $6.5 million richer. It was the perfect crime. Almost. The problem with a perfect crime is that human beings are imperfect. Police locate the abandoned helicopter. Forensic teams swarm the machine. They vacuum every inch. They don't find fingerprints. The crew wore gloves. They don't find hair. The crew wore balaclavas. But on the pilot's door, inside the emergency release handle, they find it, a microscopic drop of blood. Maybe Alexander cut his hand on the glass. Maybe it was a paper cut from the money. It doesn't matter. DNA doesn't lie. Within days, the database matches the blood to Alexander Erickson. The dominoes begin to fall. Police bug his phone. They track his movements. And then they strike. One by one, the invincible crew is arrested. Goran Bojovic, the mastermind, the muscle, the explosives expert. In 2010, 7 men were sentenced. But this is Sweden, not Hollywood. The sentences were light. Alexander got 8 years. He is already a free man today. But the story has one final twist. The police found the helicopter. They found the weapons. They found the men. But they never found the money. Of the 39 million kroner stolen that morning, less than 100,000 was ever recovered. Where is the rest? Buried in the Swedish forests? Laundered through offshore accounts? Or is it still waiting for them? They spent 7 years in a cell, but for 20 minutes, they owned the sky. And somewhere out there, $6 million is still missing. If you were them, where would you hide the money? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this heist, you need to see the story of the man who stole a Boeing 727 and disappeared into thin air. Click here to watch.